They're not physically on the front lines.
I get calls from 7:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. So it's not 9 to 5 kind of job sometimes when you are building this trust and building this relationship with the community.
The behind-the-scenes work of contact tracers is often thankless.
You do get the ones that say it's none of your blankety-blank business where I've been and who I've been around and click. Or you do get ones that say this is a hoax.
I can remember every single one of my cases' names that have passed away.
The heartbreaks are heavy, and I think at the end there is like some compassion fatigue, but there is also this sense of duty.
Nevertheless, they're determined to help tackle the spread of COVID-19. Experts say it's an integral tool, especially now.
It does save lives. It keeps people from getting sick. I think it's going to become even more important as we get through this winter surge of the virus.
The concept of contact tracing seems simple. If you test positive, a contact tracer will call you to assess your recent activity and who you may have come into contact with. The tracer then calls those people to warn them to get tested, quarantine, or to self-isolate. But there's more to the job description than some realize.
A big part of what I do is check on them, see how they are feeling, like if they need any resources. And when you ask people to stay home, they don't get to access to a lot of things that they would usually access to, like food.
A study conducted back in July, when the daily case increase was just a fraction compared to today, showed that 32% of Americans who say it'd be, quote, very or somewhat difficult to quarantine, about 40% say being unable to miss work is the main reason.
If they don't have money for food, then they can't survive anyway. So I think what is needed really is employers to provide paid leave for people who need to quarantine, not just people who need to take sick leave.
Contact tracers across the country growing more frustrated, saying potential contacts are apathetic. And they're overwhelmed, as the surge in cases is too much to keep up with.
People are very almost hostile about it, and they're mad and they're questioning every single protocol you're trying to follow, and you have to explain and educate.
Like the scattered approaches on restrictions and mitigation efforts, there is not a targeted federal plan for contact tracing. A majority of states are working via public-private partnerships, while some states are contracting their tracing out to a third party. But more than a dozen are doing it in-house, expanding their health department staff or reassigning typical staff to tracing roles.
I'm getting a case list where people got tested 3 to 6 days ago, and that's too late for really good, solid, effective contact tracing.
Should there be a broader push nationally?
We've had some really conflicting messages coming out of different politicians about the need for or the wisdom of contact tracing, and that has not helped the case. We definitely need more funding from the federal government.
The same Pew survey found that only 19% of Americans answer their phones when an unknown number calls. But others say personal privacy is a concern as tracking apps are developed.
The public health contact tracers that are calling you, they have been trained in how to keep your information private. The app that is kind of dominating right now is this Google Apple exposure notification app. And that has had a real focus on privacy first, even over public health utility. I am not personally worried about the privacy issues.
Grueling, redundant days with seemingly no end in sight. And yet, do you ever feel like giving up?
So yes and no. I don't think you truly understand the heartbreak and the emotional roller coaster you go through as a contact tracer until you do it. You kind of become more rational and you realize that every person I call, every case that I contact is saving at least 5 other people in the community from that happening to them.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.